Okay, this week we're talking a little bit about shutter speed. So I know some of you guys are having some issues with these technical assignments. Just keep in mind we only have a couple weeks of these and then we'll kind of back out again. Continue to work on improving our technical abilities, but also thinking a little bit more big picture beyond just aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. So again, shutter speed is the length of time a shutter is open. And why this matters is capturing movement. When I have a ball or a car or even light in motion, I can manipulate my effects by determining what shutter speed I'm using. In general, the faster my shutter speed, the less light I'm letting into my camera. If my shutter is going off at 1/1000th of a second, that's really fast. So I may have to adjust my ISO to let more light in. On the other end, if I have a slow shutter speed, so say I'm like at like a 5-second shutter speed, my camera's open, the shutter is open for 5 seconds, I have lots more light going in. Again, I might have to adjust my ISO to a lower setting. So when you actually look at the differences in shutter speed, you can see here, this is a picture of all the same thing. It's this water over this cliff, and it's going from slower to faster, left to right. So on the left, you can see 1/20th of a second, which is still pretty fast. I have kind of almost a ribbon-like effect with the water. I cannot see individual particles. I just see this like blur of movement that's happening. In the middle, I have 1/100th of a second, so I see more definition in terms of the water droplets. And then on the right, I see a lot of actual individual particles at 1/250th of a second. So again, the faster your shutter speed is, the faster you're freezing light, and well, not just light, freezing movement, and you can get some really awesome effects through it. Here's another good example. Again, when you guys complete the assignment, you're looking for some big gaps. So if I do like 1/30th of a second and 1/60th of a second, those are really close to each other and I'm not going to see a big difference. When I have something here, I have 1/30th of a second and 1/500th of a second. Again, those are big differences in terms of how long my shutter is open for. So you can see on the left, I get this really nice flowing, beautiful, calm water. And then on the right, I get kind of a more energetic, bead-like effect almost with the way the water is framed. If you guys have heard of light painting, this is a good project to try that out with, where basically people will take light, could be a flashlight, it could be, I've seen people do it with glow sticks. It could also be like the car lights on the road. Well, don't stand in the road, but if you're standing on the side of the sidewalk, capturing the lights of the cars going by. If you have a slow shutter speed, so you say you keep that lens open that shutter open for about a second, and you move your camera around, so you actually take your camera, it's set to a second, and you go like this, it will actually create some really beautiful effects, and that's what a lot of people will call light painting in photography. So that's one way to go about it. I don't think I have an example of that, but if you look it up, if you Google it, you should find some good examples. So moving on to the actual assignment itself. When I look at this assignment, I don't have too many additional videos this week. Not in terms of editing, because you're doing basically the same thing. You're just doing shutter speed instead of aperture. Again, hang in there. If you have questions or issues about your camera, let me know specifics. So tell me the exact settings you're using. Let me know what kind of camera you're using. Looking at those intro videos that talk about your specific camera type may help. Again, these are not easy things and they take years and years to master. So if you don't nail it on the first assignment, just know, the next assignment could be an opportunity to continue practicing these things. For this assignment, again, you're doing 2 sets of 2 pictures. So 4 pictures total, take more than that. Your subject should be in motion. So it can be a person, it can be a ball, it can be a car, it can be a pet, movement. It could be light. You could take that flashlight or that glow stick and wave it around. That's how, again, sometimes people can get some really cool things spelling them out. When I go to use my camera for this, it's going to be set on, let me enlarge myself here. It's going to be set on TV or shutter priority mode. So you remember last week we used aperture priority mode. This week we're using shutter priority mode. When I have that on, this screen pops up. Right now, this box is telling me what my shutter speed is. Right now, with the dash marks after the 3, this is over a 3-second exposure. That's a really long time. If you guys start to get into exposures where you want to capture things at, I would say more than a second, I would use a tripod, because what's going to happen is your hand's going to start to shake, unless, again, you're actively moving your camera around, in which case you're going to get those crazy light effects. Anything else though, say you want to capture the sky at night, that's a tripod. Or you want to capture the trees moving in the wind, get a tripod, or have it on a solid place. You will really start to notice those handshakes after a very short amount of time. So I can, again, on mine, I just move my dial and I get different shutter speeds. Now it's faster. It's 1/25 of a second. Again, that's how long my shutter is open for. My ISO is set to auto. Again, shouldn't have issues with that. If you are having problems, that's something you can try adjusting, but you shouldn't need to do that. Other than that, I think everything else I said last week, so I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. But the other thing I would also say is true of any project we're doing in this class. Make sure you're paying attention to your lighting. So natural light is going to be the best light, and I know we don't always have the perfect weather or the perfect time to do that. If you're stuck inside, again, illuminate your subject. You don't have to light the entire room up, but having some sort of light source, be it a flashlight, be it a lamp, be it a window, so that you have a more effective composition. Part of photography is this capturing of light, because it gives you these beautiful photographs. So just be aware of that as we're moving forward. Of course, if you have questions, let me know. I will try and help you out. Have a good week.